Yuksel Senbol, a 36-year-old from Orlando, Florida, has been sentenced to 15 months in prison for multiple charges, including conspiracy to defraud the U.S., wire fraud, money laundering, and violations of export control laws. Along with the prison sentence, the court ordered Senbol to forfeit $275,430.90, representing the proceeds of her fraudulent activities. She pleaded guilty on May 7th. According to publicly available court records, Senbol started a front company, Mason Engineering Parts LLC, in April 2019 in the Middle District of Florida. Through this company, she worked with her co-conspirators, Mehmet Ozcan and Onur Simsek, to fraudulently obtain military contracts to supply critical components to the Department of Defense, DoD. These parts were intended for vital military assets such as Navy aircraft carriers, submarines, Marine Corps armored vehicles, and Army tanks. To secure these contracts, Senbol and her accomplices falsely claimed that Mason Engineering Parts LLC was a legitimate and qualified manufacturer, while in reality, the parts were secretly being produced in Turkey by Ozcan and Simsek. Senbol knew that Simsek's involvement needed to be hidden from the U.S. government, as he had previously been convicted in a similar fraudulent scheme and was prohibited from doing business with the U.S. government. To facilitate the illegal manufacturing of these parts, Senbol helped Ozcan and Simsek gain access to sensitive, export-controlled military drawings. She did this by allowing Ozcan to remotely control her computer, bypassing security protocols that restricted access to such classified information within the U.S. Despite having signed multiple agreements promising to protect these sensitive documents from unauthorized access or export, Senbol knowingly assisted in their illegal transfer. Each drawing was clearly marked with export restrictions, yet she ignored these warnings. After the parts were manufactured in Turkey, they were shipped to Senbol, who then repackaged them to remove any indication of their true origin. The conspirators falsely claimed the parts were U.S.-made and provided fraudulent information to both the U.S. government and a military contractor to receive payment. Senbol then transferred hundreds of thousands of dollars in illegal proceeds back to Turkey through international wire transactions. The scheme was eventually uncovered by federal investigators. The U.S. military tested the components supplied by Senbol and found them to be non-compliant with required specifications. Some of these parts were classified as critical application items, meaning that if they failed, the entire system they were used in could have been rendered inoperable. Types of fraud: committed government contract fraud, falsely securing military contracts using deceptive business practices. Wire fraud, using electronic communication to facilitate fraudulent transactions. Export control violations, illegally transferring sensitive military technology outside the U.S. money laundering, transferring illegal proceeds internationally to conceal the source of funds. False representation fraud, misleading the government and contractors about the legitimacy of the company and origin of parts. National security violation, supplying substandard parts for critical military equipment, potentially jeopardizing national defense. Ways to detect this type of fraud: verification of vendors. Government agencies should thoroughly vet suppliers to ensure they are legitimate manufacturers. Background checks on contractors. Investigating individuals and companies for prior fraud convictions can prevent repeat offenders from securing contracts. Monitoring export control data access. Restricting and tracking access to sensitive military documents can help prevent illegal exports. Tracing supply chains. Implementing strict tracking measures to verify the origin of military parts before acceptance. Auditing financial transactions. Reviewing large international wire transfers to identify suspicious activity. Component testing. Conducting quality assurance tests before integrating parts into critical military systems. Enforcing compliance agreements. Ensuring contractors uphold their agreements to protect classified information,